Morning, folks, and welcome to the shed. So today's episode is going to be about stripping a boat, and most people regard this as sort of akin to going to the proctologist. It's something you got to do, but no one really looks forward to it at all. So there are a few different ways to do it. A lot of people think that it's a very difficult job to do, and for the most part, it's not the most pleasant in boat building, to be completely honest with you. You can sandblast a boat. Most people recommend not to do it. Some say, sure, you can do it if you use a fine enough grit of sand. It's really your choice there. Excuse me. Other ways is to do soda blasting. A lot of people do that. They pay someone or they buy their own soda blaster. The other way is that you can sand it or use a wire wheel to strip the paint off. If you're going to polish your boat, for the most part, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to polish it after that, because, especially with a wire wheel, because it actually scuffs up the aluminum enough that it becomes like basically an odyssey of polishing, because you're going to have to basically bring that aluminum back down to a smooth point, which means you're going to have to get through all the scuff marks that a wire wheel makes. Not to mention the fact that a wire wheel will throw off all the little bits of the wire as you're using it. Sanding is sort of the same thing. When the first boat I had, I sanded it, and I'm telling you, the hobby shed in here was completely and utterly covered in blue paint, and I'm still finding little bits of blue paint all over the place. It made a mess. It was just a colossal mess in here. So I'm not a huge fan of sanding, although lots and lots of people do it. Again, like anything, it's really up to you on how you want to do it. My favorite is to go the chemical route. Now, I originally tried using a variety of different aircraft paint strippers, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the fact you had to wear like a hazmat suit. I didn't like the fact that they didn't work particularly well for me. Could have been the way I did it, but I've gone this route. So what I use now is something called Safe Strip, and this little bottle here, I use about 2.5 of these to 3 of these for a whole boat. They're $8.99 Canadian, so which is like, $2 in the US. And I'll be honest with you, this stuff works brilliantly. And the reason I like it is 2 things. One is you don't have to wear a hazmat suit. The second thing is that when you apply it and you walk away, and you come back at the end of the day. And then you just begin peeling it off. And I guess there is a third thing. It works. And it works well enough that I can strip an entire side of the boat, and we're going to go through that in episode 2, in about, 15-20 minutes maybe. It's so easy to get the bulk of the paint off the boat that you really don't have to worry about it. So basically there's really 3 tools: coffee, paint stripper, and a $1.99 paintbrush. So I'll move the coffee first, and we'll get right to it. So you can see here on the boat, I've actually stripped this. Okay, I did this about 1.5 years ago, and this part, just this part here, took about 3 hours using aluminum aircraft paint stripper. So I'm going to show you how this goes on here, and basically you kind of want to take the bottle and you want to pour it on, and it kind of goes on, I'm going to be honest with you, it kind of looks like, well, it looks like phlegm. So you kind of want to just pour it on in big gloops, and you can see this sort of go back and forth and fill it in, and it has a real gloopiness to it, so it does adhere to a degree. And then what I do is I sort of just paint it in, and really, to be honest with you, try to really sort of get just it covering things. And there's really nothing all that fancy about how I do it, or what you do it, or how you do it. It's just the basic concept is to get full coverage on it. Otherwise, it just won't work. And really, to be honest with you, sort of the thicker the better. I mean, this stuff the other thing with this stuff is it really doesn't have much of a smell to it. A lot of aircraft stripper just, quite frankly, it stinks. And of course you're supposed to wear a full mask, which I do when I put it on. But even when you sort of for a moment take it off and run out of the garage, it's really bad. It's really poignant. This stuff here is, well, it smells sort of like, if any of you guys have ever, or women have ever had kids, it smells like sort of a diaper that a kid's urinated in. It's not horrid, but it's not something you want to sort of hang around and smell for a long time. So, just going to spread it on here. And then basically what you do is you set it aside, put the cap on, grab your coffee, and you go sit. And it takes, now I generally will put it on in the morning, like it is right now, so early morning. I'll go to work, and then I'll come back at the end of the day, and I'll take it off. Because it's sort of like having a whole bunch of employees working for you, and while you're off doing something else, working on some other project, and you come back, and it's just basically ready to go for you. So it's a really nice product. It doesn't seem to do any damage to the aluminum whatsoever for leaving it that long. I've now done one boat before this. This will be the second boat with it, and I gotta admit, it takes this job and turns it from something that's, to be honest with you, it really is truly something you don't look forward to. It's either messy or it's stinky or it's just a long, arduous task. And it turns it into something that's relatively easy to do, and you can do it quickly. I mean, this whole boat, the sides, the top, or the bottom, the hull here, because it's flipped over, sorry, will take literally a few hours versus a few weeks. So I like that kind of thing. I like the fact that you can take this and do this. So that's about it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to go through it, and we're going to actually strip the paint off the boat here, and I'll show you how easy it is. This whole series here is basically to take what I was doing, picture photographs of everything that we've done before, and I would like to turn it into sort of a video log of how to do it, so that other people out there who may be thinking about restoring an old boat that they have rather than buying a new one can actually take on the challenge. So we're going to go step by step. And again, it's sort of my way of doing it. It doesn't mean it's, and my way meaning that what I've learned from others. So I'm sort of trying to share that with you guys and gals out there. And rather than having me sort of saying this is my way, it's the highway, it's the only way, this really isn't. This is just my thoughts, stuff that's worked for me, and so I hope you like it. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Take care.